City Media Sports Network, a clash of two unbeaten teams as 4-0 Locust Valley comes to the south shore of Nassau County and takes on the 4-0 Wantagh Warriors. Good afternoon, everybody. Matt Shortis and Ben Turchin with you as we get ready to start this one. And Ben, Wantagh coming off one heck of a game, a 56-53 win over Island Tree, so local rivalry there. Locust Valley also moved to 4-0 earlier this week with a sound win over Clark. And in a very shortened season where we don't have any playoffs, two teams 4-0 this time of year with just a few games left in the regular season. This has a lot of implications for, who could be the unofficial conference champion at the end of the year.
Matt, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is a game that continues for one team to be undefeated, and I think being undefeated in this conference is going to get the job done to be the conference champion. So you have North Shore as well undefeated, and both of these teams I think will play North Shore as we continue on this very abbreviated season. But when you have two 4-0s, Matt, it's pretty exciting. We had Locust Valley a couple of days ago at their place against Clark, and now we get to see them against the Wantagh Warriors.
And let's take a look at those Locust Valley starters again coming in at 4-0. You have Dominic Marone in the starting lineup, as well as Joe Halpern, Logan Lee Antonio. Sean Murphy is the guy that Wantagh keyed in on. And Luke Paniagua had 17 points the other day against Clark. Yeah,
and you're talking about Sean Murphy. I know you're going to talk about Dylan Heege for Wantagh. I'm looking forward to that matchup. So we're going to keep an eye on 33, the big fella for Locust Valley today.
And the Warriors starting lineup, they are coached by Joe Harselrod in his fifth season as head coach. You have Dylan Reach, Jaden Ventura. They're led by Kyle Dowden. He averages a little over 16 points a contest. David Treader, as well as Mike Handel. And Dylan Heege, the guy you mentioned, he's the sixth man coming off the bench. But he had a season-high 16 points the other day, including the go-ahead basket to put Wantagh ahead of Island Trees for good.
He was right in the middle of it, no pun intended, as the big man for Wantagh. And I know you had mentioned he's not starting, but he's coming off the bench. He's going to play a lot of minutes today for Wantagh. And whenever he is on the floor, number 45, let's keep an eye on the matchup. 45 for Wantagh, 32 for Locust Valley. Matt, I think that could be a good one today.
And I know that was something that Dan McAndrew, the acting head coach of Locust Valley, talked about with us. He's concerned about Wantagh's size coming into this game because they do have some pretty big guys. You mentioned Heege, he's 6'6", Treader at 6'4", so they have some pretty thick, solid bodies in the post.
Yeah, and they also have senior experience. Clark was a young team, that going through this year. It's going to be a building process for them. Here you've got two evenly matched teams, and we're excited for this game.
So it's Locust Valley in the road in green and Wantagh in white. Locust Valley wins the tip, a three-pointer off the right side, right off the bat. No good. Offensive board put back in by Paniagua, and Locust Valley goes on top 2-0.
I think that was Murphy, 33, and that's a big bucket for him, Matt, because a couple of days ago he was missing those short ones. To get that in for Murphy right off the bat, that's key for Locust Valley.
Murphy averaging over 16.5 points per game. I got mixed up between my 32 and 33 down low. So first Wantagh possession of the game today. Ventura on a pick and pop. Back outside, right wing three-pointer is good for Kyle Dowden. And Wantagh up 3-2.
And it's a much different game for Locust Valley because they gave Clark all kinds of fits offensively, or defensively, I should say. Wantagh able to hit on their first basket.
Wantagh working in the high post now, left side. They'll try a three-pointer off the front iron. No good. Rebound all the way out to Handel for Wantagh. Warriors moving right to left. 3-2 early lead about a minute into this contest. Again, matchup of two unbeaten teams at 4-0 in this lightning fast season. 8 games in about 2.5 weeks.
Not even every game is guaranteed. We've got cancellations up and down, so we're just pretty happy to even have a game here today.
Exactly. Here's Reach dribbling to his right. Goes right baseline. Off the glass, off the front of the iron. No good. And a rebound pulled down by Sean Murphy.
And Murphy making his presence felt early in this game, Matt.
Quickly up ahead. It's Paniagua down on the right blocks. He has to pull it back outside. Good defensive help coming over. Ball gets away. Nearly a backcourt violation, but Murphy able to recover. Left side, long two. Front iron, no good. Murphy back there. Stuffed on a rejection by Treader. And then a travel as Murphy was trying to turn over his left side. And Wantagh will have it.
Well, a nice job with the rejection by Treader, but that's the second offensive rebound for Murphy today. And Coach McAndrew said, he missed a couple of easy ones. I think he's going to have a much different game against Wantagh. And Matt, so far, we've seen a much different player come out here.
And keeping an eye on that physical matchup down low between Murphy and Treader right now, and then Heege when he comes into the game for Wantagh. Straight away beyond the arc, this is Dowden, now left side for Reach. Here's Jaden Ventura averaging 16 points per game. He's a guy that really moves the engine. Nice look down low. Rejection again by Murphy, and Murphy got a piece of that.
Yeah, great defense by Locust Valley.
Here's Paniagua into the paint. Tough shot on the left-handed shot, no good. And both teams struggling a little bit from the floor so far. Low-scoring game. Top of the arc 3, or inside 2, pardon me, for Dowden, and he hits.
Yeah, Dowden with a good look there.
Ventura, pardon me.
Ventura with a good look. Locust Valley, for a second, gave him a shot. He took it. Advantage Wantagh.
And now Ventura, a little bit more pressure on the defensive side of the ball. Here's Joe Halpin as Wantagh with the early 3-point lead, 3 minutes into this one. Here's Paniagua, head fake, right side of the lane. Scoop shot won't go. Rebounded by Ventura. Ventura looking to push the pace. 3 guys on him at half court, and he's able to roll around them. Right side. Here's Dowden. He'll try a 3, and that rattles in. 8-0 run for Wantagh, and they lead 8-2.
One of the things for Locust Valley, their last game against Clark, they had the height, they had the advantage. Wantagh matches up with them, Matt. They have height here, they have quickness, and that's why you see an 8-2 lead so far.
And you and I were talking, and we'll get into this more before the game, that because of conferences aligning and enrollment declining for Wantagh, these two schools, this could be a good rivalry to look forward to over the next couple of years.
Absolutely, and Matt, we just see Locust Valley coming out a little cold here to start this game, and give credit to Wantagh. Their defense has lived up to the billing.
And they've done a good job as well, closing possessions, defensive rebounding, and then transitioning the other way very quickly. Double team comes over to Ventura. Now they both slide off. Ventura will pull up from 3, no good. Rebound tapped around, and an offensive board for Treader, and Wantagh will reset. David Treader averaging about 7.5 points per game. Solid leaping ability. 12 rebounds versus Clark earlier this year. Now he takes it to the rack and puts it in.
What an opportunity there for Treader. We're going to get a timeout here. But, Matt, when you have the big guys like a Treader for your team and you can get an easy shot like that, things are moving well if you're the Wantagh Warriors.
A 10-2 Wantagh lead right now, midway point of the first quarter, and a timeout taken by Locust Valley. And, again, we talked about this. Both teams coming in 4-0. Wantagh, they come off that win against Island Trees, and speaking with Joe Harselbrad about this, it's nice to have a win where you're a little bit battle-tested, right? Like, you had to come from behind, you had a late game, so coming into this game where you're facing another undefeated opponent, they have a little bit more of that, I don't know if confidence or belief would be the right word, but they have that experience in a close late situation.
I completely agree with you. Locust Valley's schedule, I think it's fair to say, has been a little easier so far this year than maybe Wantagh's has. So maybe you could say they're a little bit better prepared. And I just think on the Locust Valley side so far, they just, it's 45-minute bus ride to come here. Yeah. It's snowing outside. I think they need to get their bearings with them because they are such a good shooting team. Their defense is solid, and I think we're going to see them back in the game here. Let's see if their point guard, Logan Lee Antonio, number 23, can get things going for the Falcons.
And again, because this is a new conference thing, this is a new gym for them too.
Right. That's a great point. Who knows the last time they played here, or if any of them have.
Free throw line jumper for Marone. That's no good. And a rebound into the hands of Dylan Reach for Wantagh. So the Warriors coming out, firing quickly. Nice pass down low, pump fake, back up with it, and the friendly home bounce for Dylan Heege. His first points of the day, and Wantagh again on a 12-0 run right now, opening up a 12-2 lead.
And we see his first minutes of the game, and right away, Matt, he gets in and he makes his presence felt.
Heege coming off his best game of the season, 16-10 in the win over Island Trees. Short shot from Murphy, raises the front of the iron.
That's how deep this Wantagh Warrior team is. He's not even a starter on this ball club. That's scary.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about deep also. Locust Valley's got 20 guys on their roster, and all of them played earlier this week against Clark.
They sure did. Give Coach McAndrew credit for getting all 20 guys in. Now, they don't travel with the same amount of guys, so they don't have that many here.
A turnaround jumper for Heege, showing a little range for the big man.
Boy, how about Heege, Matt? He's still on fire from the previous game. I don't know. Maybe he slept in the gym these past couple of days.
I mean, you have a game like that, and then you could carry it over into the next one. All of a sudden, you put a few together. Nice move down low. And a friendly roll for Paniagua. He's got his first points of the game.
And that's so big for Paniagua. He had 17 points like you had mentioned the previous game against Clark. So for him to come in here and get his first points, we expect some more from the big-time leader for Locust Valley.
And a much-needed basket for the Falcons, stemming that 12-0 run.
Here's the matchup I talked about, Matt. Heege and Mark Murphy going at it.
Ventura driving on the baseline, kicks it underneath to Heege, but he traveled before he put the ball on the floor and a Wantagh turnover.
That's something Locust Valley desperately can use here, down 10 points. They'll take the turnover.
They've been very good as far as ball control so far in this game. Not a lot of errors. Wantagh has been shooting high percentage shots. There's Murphy, open three-pointer, in and out. Heege got the board.
Yeah, he has the range, folks. He could step out there and hit that shot.
He's had looks, just hasn't been able to put him down just yet. Here's a three on the left side, no good. Long rebound out to Ventura for Wantagh. He'll spot up from three straight away. That one's in and out. And a rebound to Joe Halpin of Locust Valley. Here's Paniagua pushing ahead. Murphy wide open underneath, puts it up and in.
What a look by Paniagua to Murphy, and you can't leave him alone down low, folks. He's too lethal down there in the paint. And that's an easy basket for the Falcons.
Back-to-back baskets for Locust Valley. Under 90 seconds to play in the opening quarter, an 8-point advantage for Wantagh. Here's Heege on the right block, trying to back his way down. A little too strong on that shot. And Corvaya, the rebound for Locust Valley. He's trying to go coast to coast, and he does.
Matt's so impressed with Corvaya. He was such a great spark off the bench for the Falcons a couple of days ago, and you see him off the bench, the 6th or 7th man, and immediately his presence is felt with a big basket.
And Corvaya had 11 points against Clark the other day. Just excellent basketball IQ, and all of a sudden Locust Valley, the last couple minutes, find their footing on a 6-0 run.
Yeah, like we had mentioned in the previous timeout, we thought they would get their bearings a little bit. Wantagh has had opportunities. They've hit some shots. And the thing that I noticed off the bat is they could match up with Locust Valley. And that's something that McAndrew had said. As soon as we got here, he said, look at them. You know, they're just as tall as us. They're just as physical as us. It's going to be a good game, and we expect it to be a good game. And so far, we've had a good one.
So quick 30-second timeout for Joe Harselrod of Wantagh. Last season, the Warriors were 13-1 and lost to Jericho in the second round of the playoffs. So, you know, as we talked about, this season that's shortened, doesn't have a lot of practice time, two teams that return a lot, and the odds are stacked in teams that return some veteran presence in their favor this year.
Oh, without a doubt.
Here's Heege. Nice pass across the lane. Lefty's scoop is good for Treader.
Well, give Treader credit. He's the cutter there. Heege with a good pass. Everything working for Wantagh right now.
Pass fake on the left side for Corvaya. Paniagua holding on. Murphy calling for it at the top of the key. Paniagua, he'll pull up for three. That's short. Rebounded by Kyle Dowden of Wantagh. Two early threes. It's been quiet since then.
One thing Wantagh cleaned up, no second chance for Locust Valley since early. If you remember, Matt, Murphy had a couple of putbacks. Since then, really, first couple of minutes, give Wantagh a lot of credit. They've shut that down.
Offensive foul away from the ball. And look again at that play. The last basket from Treader. Right side, it comes for Paniagua, cutting to the basket. He lays it up and in.
Yeah, he can do that, folks. We saw that baseline move a couple of days ago, and he shows it to Wantagh here. They're going to have to find a way to defend that.
There's Ventura underneath at the horn, no good. And a pretty up and down first quarter of play has the home team. Wantagh on top by 6. It's 16-10 after 1. Stay with us for Conference 7 Nassau basketball on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome back to Wantagh High School. Matt Schroedis and Ben Turchin with you as Wantagh is leading by 6. It's 16-10. as we begin the second quarter of play. And again, you mentioned it at the end of that first quarter. Wantagh doing a really good job defensively, closing out possessions, gave up a couple of early offensive boards, but pretty much nothing since then.
Well, except for the baseline by Paniagua just a second ago. But you're right, the second chance looks for Locust Valley, that has been cleaned up by Wantagh.
Jada Ventura has been handling the ball most of this game so far for Wantagh. Here's Sean Carlo, first look for him today. You hear the school bell going off because, we're at 2 o'clock start. Yep. Not a normal start time, but schools are off this week.
It is Friday. I lose track of days, with COVID. I don't know about you.
Ventura pull-up. Yeah, I mean, especially, not leaving the house
right.
or...
work from home.
Nowhere to be.
What day is it? What time is it?
40 seconds into this second quarter. Straight away, it's Halpin for Locust Valley. Halpin, the 6'1 senior. Now Paniagua. Silvo Tasso. Dribbling into the paint. Block shot by Downen. Out of bounds. It'll stay with Locust Valley. 9 on the shot clock.
Now take another look at this one. The defense has just been great for Wantagh here of late. Good rejection.
But with Treader and Heege down there, they're pretty solid defensive presences. And Dowden as well. Here's Ventura. Right side it comes for Treader. Dowden holding up top. And we'll have a foul on Locust Valley against Joe Halpin. So far, pretty clean game. I think that's only a second foul we've had called today.
And here's the penetration here. And there you go, a little reaching at the end. Wantagh, one thing I noticed, they're very quick. Their guards do a good job putting the ball on the ground, and they can blow past defenders.
And guys do a good job moving without the ball as well. Right side, that's a long 2 for Heege. He's up to 6 points today.
Boy, there's some coaches watching this game saying, he's the 6th man on this team? Let me have him.
Yeah, I think he shows you some good range. Long outlet pass ahead for Treader. Treader, nice job keeping it in bounds, but goes to Tasso. Tasso moving ahead. Paniagua pull up from about 6 feet, rolls off the front of the iron. Murphy going down low, the board, put back, and the foul.
The Locust Valley is going to need that if they're going to stay in this game, but give credit to Joe Halpin. He's the one who started that on the other end of the court, got it out to Paniagua, who finished it up to Murphy, or Murphy finished up the missed opportunity. But that is exactly what Locust Valley needs to get back in this one, Matt.
Murphy using his size, the 6'5 senior, averages a double-double at 16 points, 15 rebounds per game, and misses on the first free throw.
The other day, Dylan Butler and I were talking about, can you imagine him on the football field? Because he's a football player, too. I would not want to tackle him.
Yeah, he's got good size. And we'll see these two teams square off on the football field as well come springtime, which is an odd sentence to say. Down low, here's Carlo. Get it and one.
Yeah, it's odd to say March 13th, home opener, right? But I believe if the schedules hold, and if I'm correct, that these two teams will open the season against each other. And Wantagh, of course, coming down. They were in Conference 3 last year, coming down to Conference 4 in Nassau County football. And you and I were talking before the game started. It was only a couple of years ago they were in Conference 2, so they continue to drop in bed numbers.
Not only were they in Conference 2, but they were
Powerhouse.
won a Long Island Championship in Conference 2.
Powerhouse. Keith Sachs does a great job. I believe he's in the building. I think he's got the possession clock across from us. Keith Sachs, the head football coach for Wantagh.
And baseball?
And baseball, correct.
So that's an interesting one, though. What does he do this spring? Bank shot is good for the 3 from Incorvaya.
He's going to be very busy the next 4 months. Told his family members, we'll see you in July.
Handing off a lot of responsibilities to assistant coaches where you can. Treader, no good, gets his own rebound. And a battle for it in the corner. Locust Valley comes away with it, but some trouble. And Reach has it for Wantagh. Reach, right side corner, kick out, left side for Carlo now. Carlo at the free throw line, picks up the dribble. Around the perimeter, and a kick ball against Locust Valley.
We would like to see Paniagua call a timeout in that situation. I believe Locust Valley has at their disposal instead of getting trapped in there and giving up the ball for a turnover.
Each team has used one timeout so far in this game. There's Dylan Reach. Ventura off a screen up top, now puts on the burners, goes to the basket and scores.
Well, they don't have an answer for Ventura. Jaden Ventura, the senior point guard, he is just so quick, Matt. He can stutter move, go left, go right, and that's been a problem for Locust Valley here early on.
8-point lead for Wantagh as we approach the midway point of this second quarter. Left side three for Incor via back-to-back trays for number 14 of Locust Valley.
If you're a Locust Valley fan, you're not surprised by 14 Incor via. He did this against Clark. This is what he does off the bench. He's the spark plug that the Falcons need.
Free throw line, jumper no good for Heege. Offensive board for Treader. Treader in the near side corner, outside the arc. Reach, now to Ventura. Ventura driving to the basket, switches hands. His shot is blocked. Rebound Locust Valley. Leantonio coming up the floor. Kick out left side. Long two, grazes the front of the iron. Wantagh has it going the other way, and that's going to be an intentional foul on Incor Vaya, who grabbed Ventura from behind.
See if we get a look at this. I don't know why Incor Vaya was confused. He totally grabs him here, as you can see. It was definitely intentional.
Yeah, interesting, too, because Paniagua was there in front, so it wasn't that there was a clear path, so to speak, to use an NBA term.
I totally agree with you. I think, just maybe some hesitation on his part right there, but you could have given Paniagua at least a fighter's chance to play some defense there on that opportunity.
So Ventura missing on the first one. Returning all-conference player from last year. And he goes 0 for 2 from the line.
And those are two big misses. Locust Valley will take that. Offensively, Matt, for Locust Valley, I think some of their shots may be forced a little bit, or maybe they're throwing them up a little too quick. You see some front iron shots, and they were deadly a couple of days ago when we had them against Clark. So that's just a situation where I think at halftime they're going to talk about that. Don't force it, and be within yourself, and make sure you're putting up a good shot.
Yeah, I think in that last possession, Incor Vaya was kind of just feeling it. He had hit a couple in a row, and just shorted that last shot. 3.5 to go here in the first half. Wantagh pick and roll, but a pass a little out of the reach of Handel and out of bounds.
You know, it's interesting because as well as Wantagh is playing and they have the 5-point lead, you feel like they just haven't been able to pull away. They haven't been able to extend to an 8, 9, 10-point lead. You have some turnovers here. You had missed free throws. So let's see how Wantagh finishes up the first half.
Big credit to Incor Vaya so far in the second quarter with 8 points. Murphy knocks down the mid-range jumper. He's up to 8 as well.
As we told you, folks, at the beginning of the game, let's keep an eye on 33 Murphy. He has lived up to the challenge in this game tonight.
And just a 3-point lead for Wantagh for as well as they've played so far in this half.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you would have thought if we didn't look at the scoreboard, they'd be up maybe 10 points.
Here's Carlo on the baseline, spin move, tough shot, no good. Rebound to Locust Valley, and here comes Murphy pushing it up. Incor Vaya, back it comes to Murphy, lost it between his legs, and Wantagh has got it.
Yeah, that was a force by Incor Vaya. I mean, let's set the offense up first and then see where you want to go.
A lot of contact, play continues. Locust Valley has it the other way. Incor Vaya on the drive, high off the window, nice touch and in.
You got to love Incor Vaya, folks. I mean, right down the other way, maybe a forced pass. He comes back with a big offensive points. Huge.
7-0 run for Locust Valley, and Wantagh takes a timeout with 2:18 to play in the first half. We will as well. You're watching Nassau County Boys Basketball on Varsity Media Sports Network.
Island sports fans, now is the time to ensure you don't miss out on your athletes' games. Varsity Media is available to live stream any game, any event, any level, anytime. Reach out to Varsity Media today to learn more about live.
Good game today, folks. How's Sal's shot looking?
Welcome back to Wantagh High School. These two teams separated by a point right now and both 4-0. Also, the inverse of this, or the girls' version of this, getting played up on the North Shore. Wantagh girls visiting Locust Valley. Both of those teams also 4-0, and we have that game for you also here on Varsity Media.
Yeah, we've got both communities covered here, right? Every basketball fan of Locust Valley and Wantagh has somewhere to go today, whether you're a boys basketball fan or a girls basketball fan. Make sure you subscribe to the Varsity Media YouTube channel here, our Varsity Media Sports Network, so you can catch all of our broadcasts. I think our next one coming up will be on Monday. But you never know with the snow and some cancellations. Everything's up in the air right now.
Yeah, that is true. If this pandemic has taught us anything, it's that everything needs to be adaptable. You need to be agile and flexible.
I think the phrase is one day at a time.
Yeah. Nice pass back down on the left blocks for Halpin. Halpin kicks it back out. Marone will try a three, back heels it, and a rebound tipped up to Reach. Here's Reach, right side for Dowden. Now Ventura straight away. Between the legs dribble, Ventura tries a scoop shot underneath, and he's fouled on the way to the basket.
Well, we talked about how quick he is and getting a step on Leantonio, and there you go. Nothing you can do there but just try to get an arm in the way, and he'll go to the line for two. Remember, Matt, last time he was here, missed both.
So second trip to the line for Ventura. Incorvaya picks up the foul. Nobody in really any significant foul trouble for either team.
Big basket for Ventura there. You don't want to go 0-3 and 0-4 in the free throw line. You're going to hear it from Coach.
That's for sure.
It's one of those things where after the game he makes you stay here, right, and shoot free throws. So way to get off the schneid.
Joe Harselrod saying of Jaden Ventura, he's probably one of the 3 or 4 quickest players I've ever coached as he hits the second. And that's saying a lot because Coach Harselrod has had some good teams over the years, Suffolk County champs with Sayville. So he's been doing this a while. Back outside for Paniagua, nothing but net on the three.
Huge shot for Paniagua, ties the game at 25. And we'll see if this guy gets going here at the end of the first half and maybe into the second.
A 10-2 run with 80 seconds left to play in the first half. And we are knotted up at 25. Reach, three-pointer, answers back.
That's why this is such a good game, folks. Whatever Locust Valley does, Wantagh has the answer.
Wantagh back up by 3. It's 28-25. Paniagua driving right baseline. Reverse layup is good.
Wow, that's the second time you've seen that today. Wantagh does not have an answer. So versatile that he can go three-point range and then Matt come back and drive baseline. You don't see a lot of high school basketball players with that kind of ability to do that on the court.
Paniagua up to 6 points today. We're under 40 seconds left in this first half. 1 point game. Ventura. Nice move underneath, feeds. I lost who that was. Was that Handel underneath?
Yeah, I believe it was. And what happened there is because of his quickness, it's bringing multiple Locust Valley players to meet him defensively, frees up a Wantagh Warrior for an easy look.
Murphy holding up top on the right elbow. Shot clock turned off with 15 seconds left. Paniagua in traffic, count the basket and the foul.
Well, you had it the baseline way, you had it the easy three-point way, and now you're going to get it with the 2 and the foul. Paniagua showing that he has so much versatility in the offensive end. Look at him blow by baseline, and then enough muscle, Matt, to get that basket up and in.
So Paniagua with an opportunity to tie here, and he does.
He is really warming up here late in the first half, and we expected him to, scoring 17 points against Clark.
After a quiet first quarter, has 9 points now in the contest. 4 seconds, Ventura driving to the basket, little contact, no good. Offensive board 2 times and a third. Does that count? We're trying to see. Treader saying it does.
We don't have an official answer yet. I think they're going to discuss it. Let's see if we can see it on the replay.
It's up on the scoreboard, but obviously we're at Wantagh High School. So we'll keep an eye.
I don't think so.
It's tight, but I would say
I don't think so.
Probably not, based on that angle.
Let's put it this way. If the referees came to our table to take a look at that, I think that they would see that it came after. Can we see that one more time? Is that possible to get another look at that? I want everybody to look at the scoreboard as the basket's coming up. Take a look at the clock up here, right? You're going to see 0 before the ball goes up, I think.
Yeah, it's fractional. That's a tough one. So they'll sort it out. We'll have an answer for you when we get back. It's halftime here at Wantagh, and right now the scoreboard at Wantagh High School reads 32-30 in favor of the home team. So stick with us. Great one on hand so far between 2 4-0 teams. We'll take a break at halftime here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Cuts inside. Touchdown, Red Devils. Rosin coach Greg Murphy There's you. What a move! And the foul.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Patience offensively against this excellent defense. Now the shot's fired. How about that? Right into the top of the cage off the stick.
Be second down and 3. Handoff this time right up the middle. And B.J. Clark is gone for the touchdown.
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone at 866-577-1950.
Welcome back to Wantagh High School. They did, in fact, count that basket at the last second. So David Treader beats the buzzer by the thinnest of margins, and Wantagh leads 32-30. Matt Short has been Turchin with you. About 90 seconds to go as we get ready to begin the second half. And Ben, Wantagh came out of the gate really well, had a 14-2 advantage at one point, led 16-10 after a quarter play. But Locust Valley slowly started to find their stride in that second quarter. And of course it was Paniagua and Murphy in the mix, but also Incorvaya gave them a big jolt off the bench. And we'll take a look now at the first half scoring leaders for Locust Valley. And Incorvaya, again, 10 points. There was that run where he had back-to-back threes in the midst of, I think it was like a 7-0 run for Locust Valley, and that really allowed them to get back into this ball game. And then for Wantagh, very balanced effort. Nobody with more than 6 points, but they have 4 guys with 6 points, and it's Heege had a good half, Treader, Dowden, and as well as Ventura, mixing things up both as a point guard and scorer. So as we look at both of those teams and both of those scores, a lot from the guys that we expected to show up today.
Right, I totally with you on Wantagh. You can get it from anywhere with that team. Same thing with Locust Valley. What I think is important for Locust Valley, we talked about Incorvaya because he's a spark plug. He comes off the bench. He sort of, you can say, Matt, got it going for Locust Valley. There was a point in the game where they were trailing by 5, by 6. He came in, he kept it close. And then after he stopped the bleeding, Paniagua was able to get going, Murphy with some putback. So you could almost say that Incorvaya was the big piece for Locust Valley in that first half.
Yeah, and I think in the middle of that run, Ben, you and I both said, like the way that Wantagh was playing, it felt like they could have been up by 10 or 12 points, but instead it was, 6 points, 7 points, and it allowed Locust Valley to stay in it long enough to get those guys moving.
That's 100% correct. I mean, easily, if things don't go right for Locust Valley, this could have been, we talked about a 10-point, 12-point game. So you just have to give a lot of credit to Locust Valley because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it was 10-2 to start this game. I think Wantagh
it got up to 14-2.
14-2. And, you had talked about some teams better suited for this year than others. Here's a great case in point. A younger team down 14-2 on the road, that might have been it for them, for the game, but not Locust Valley. The senior-laden team, guys that have been with each other for a long time, that played together, and that wasn't going to deter them, Matt, and we knew that they'd get back in the game, and we've got a good one. And if you're a Locust Valley fan, we showed you the replay twice. You might have been saying it the whole halftime. That one didn't count. Come on, guys, that didn't count. But nevertheless, Wantagh's got the 2-point advantage.
And they will start with the ball as we begin the second half. Wantagh in the home whites with black numbers outlined in gold. And Locust Valley in the road greens, like forest green, and then white lettering and numbering. Here's Kyle Dowden, kick it up top for Reach. Nice job reading that pass and taking it away was Lee Antonio driving to the basket, no good. Putback is good for Dominic Marone. And the first points of the game for Marone tie this up at 32.
Well, a great steal by Lee Antonio there, just couldn't finish, but thankfully Marone was there to clean it up, and that's a big basket for Locust Valley on the defensive end.
Kyle Dowden, free throw line jumper. His shot is blocked, so Locust Valley's defense coming out strong to start the half. Halpin got the block, and then Paniagua is fouled coming up the floor.
Let's take another look there. You're going to see just hanging off the rim, and a good cleanup job right there.
Both defenses starting well here in this second half. Reach picks this one up. Treader lost the dribble, but able to find Reach for it, and now Ventura and Wantagh will reset. So a little helter-skelter for both teams to start this third quarter, and that continues. We had 4 turnovers in under a minute.
Yeah, Lee Antonio with his second steal there and back-to-back possessions. Poked it away.
Right side, three-pointer for Marone, knocks it down.
And how about Dominic Marone, the junior, cleaning up the rebound for the basket, and now a three-pointer. I think that's 5 consecutive.
That's also the first lead for Locust Valley today. Ventura, nice look underneath, and the finish for Dowden.
Locust Valley has to get back transitionally defensively, left the man open underneath for the easy basket.
1 point lead now, 35-34. Locust Valley the advantage. Murphy down low, his pass a little bit high. He was looking for Halpin, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, folks, we knew we were going to have a good game today, and you have been treated to one so far, and I think we're going to have a great finish. It's a nice look right there for the easy basket.
Downing on the finish there a moment ago. Ventura going back towards the middle of the lane. Tough shot, falling away and crossing his body, and missed it on the front iron. Bounce pass kicked out of bounds. Here's Joe Halpin on the right side. Scoreless so far today. But a guy that Dan McAndrew says his worth doesn't really show up on the box score. Here's Murphy, a little trouble holding that one and loses it out of bounds.
Yeah, good idea by Paniagua working it down low to Murphy. Just maybe a little bit past his fingertips, but it was a good idea.
Interesting start to the second half. You know, if we saw this in the first half, it might have made a bit more sense, but both teams moved pretty well offensively to start the game, and a little rut to begin the second half. Dowden. Left elbow jumper, no good. And here's Paniagua. You know, the other thing, Ben, is that because scouting is so limited, you know, in this time where nobody's really allowed in the gym, no spectators as the ball goes to the ground. Murphy tied up by Ventura, and Ventura comes away with the steal. Here's Ventura pushing the tempo, a little Euro step scoop shot, no good. Murphy got the rebound. Here's Murphy driving towards the basket and an offensive foul.
Yeah, I agree with the call. Treader holding his ground. Murphy a little too aggressive there on that play. We're going to take another look at it here. Trying to go coast to coast, Matt.
Yeah, there was a little shoulder lowering right
It's
at the
good
end of
defense. I mean, absolutely, by David Treader. Great defense, and it was the right call.
And to the point a moment ago, you know, because scouting is so limited, both coaches and any coaches that are playing right now, there's adjustments that have to be made at halftime, probably more so than you would normally see.
You're 100% right. Now, I'm sure Wantagh watched our live stream a couple of days ago, so they might have a little bit of an advantage. I don't know what Locust Valley was able to get on Wantagh, but they were able to get Locust Valley, Matt.
Here's Ventura high off the window and in. Wantagh back on top, 36-35. Murphy. His pass deflected, looking for Paniagua. Taken away by Reach. Ventura. Reach, plenty of time. Long three, no good.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the shot Wantagh wanted right there. Locust Valley will take that rebound. And offensively, Matt, for Locust Valley, some of these entry passes, they just have to do a better job of working it to the open guy because Wantagh's getting too many hands on the passes of Locust Valley.
Locust Valley trying to use some of their big guys and going with higher passes, but Wantagh has the size to match those. Reach causing some havoc, and a timeout taken by Locust Valley. Halpin in some trouble. And in order to save the possession, Dan McAndrew will call a timeout. We mentioned like the senior-laden teams or more experienced returning teams having the advantage, and that's because things are so truncated in Nassau County this year. 8-game schedule. They basically got the word last week of January that the season was going to start. Started essentially February 9th, and for most teams by February 26th, that's going to be the end of the season. So you're talking about 8 games in 17 days. In a normal year, whether we'll have normal again, who knows, but in a normal year, the students have to have 10 to 15 practices to be deemed eligible.
Right. And
we're not even going to have 10 to 15 practices in the course of this entire season.
Yeah, I mean, it's the world we're in right now. I know they're excited to play. I think they're a little disappointed that they don't get a postseason, but they'll take what they can get here. And, you know, we talked about it at the beginning. I think if you're going to be crowned champion in this conference, you might have to go undefeated. So it's going to take all 8 of those games to get a championship. And if you're seniors on this team, you know, that's what you're playing for, Matt. That's the goal, is to get to 8-0, beat a Wantagh, beat a North Shore, and that's something you can hang on your mantle, you know, for the rest of your life.
Long three, no good. Rebounded by Treader, especially when you consider as a senior, you didn't even know if you were going to get a chance to play anything this year.
Right. And you had mentioned, I mean, where are the practices? And even when you are practicing, Matt, they're not practicing a typical practice.
No.
They're in pods. They're separated. I mean, that's not what you're used to doing as a basketball player.
Here's Paniagua trying to step into a three, no good. Murphy the rebound, backing his way down, kick it back outside. Paniagua found his way in. Nice pass down low to Murphy, the finish.
You got to like that ball movement by Locust Valley, a three-man passing combination between Murphy, Leantonio, Paniagua. It all works. Murphy gets the feed down low.
Keep an eye on Leantonio. He seemed like he was kind of flexing his hand after that pass from Murphy. Here's Ventura trying to feed inside into traffic. Paniagua's got it. Lead pass ahead for Leantonio. His shot blocked. Murphy the rebound. Murphy trying to go up with it, but it slipped out of his hands on the way up and went out of bounds.
Yeah, we saw that a couple of times with Murphy in the Clark game where he's had the ball just slip right out of his hands. There's a nicer rebound right there, and then maybe sweat on the fingers, but he had a great opportunity there for another 2.
1 point lead for Locust Valley, 37-36. 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Down low, this is Heege. Bodied up by Murphy. Back out up top for Reach. Right side, that'll be a 3 for Carlo, well off the mark. Here's Locust Valley trying to feed up ahead. Good job by Murphy to save this. Foot on the line, 2-pointer, no good. Murphy backs this out. Battle for it, and Murphy's diving on the ground for it. Locust Valley has it, but a travel. Boy, that's a tough way to end that possession for Murphy, who put 100% effort. You see Murphy going down for it, as well as Pelagonia.
Yeah, I thought that was a late whistle because they could have got the travel early on. Then I thought he tried for a timeout, and they didn't give it to him.
But you go back to him saving it and then tapping out the rebound to try and keep the possession alive. As Ventura thought about a 3, now he takes it high, arcing shot off the back heel, and Murphy's got it for Locust Valley. As we approach 90 seconds left in the third quarter, Paniagua driving right side of the lane. His shot altered from behind by Carlo.
Yeah, difficult to get through when you got to get through Treader and Heege. That's a tall order.
Here's Ventura off a screen. Ventura driving right baseline. Count the basket and 1.
Yeah, his speed was able to get by Halpin, and then Halpin, I think, beat on the other end from behind with the reach. We'll take another look. Look at that speed, Matt. Blowing right by. Not much you can do there after that, right?
Going by Halpin. I think it was just that first step. All of a sudden hesitation and then quickly to his right.
Yeah, I mean, he's so impressive, this guard, Ventura. He has that first step. He can blow by anybody.
2 of 4 from the line today. Make it 2 of 5. But he's the first Wantagh player in double figures this afternoon. And the Warriors lead back on top, 38-37. Pass intended for Paniagua, and a good job by Carlo jumping the route. We'll have a jump ball. Possession arrow stays with Locust Valley. Again, we talked about this a few minutes ago, Ben, just those higher passes. Wantagh's doing a good job reading them and either deflecting them or just taking them away outright.
Absolutely.
Paniagua trying to create some space around Carlo. Good defense by number 20 in white.
Yeah, that's a force there, Matt. Locust Valley has an opportunity for a timeout there. Just reset. Every possession here, Matt, seems so critical in this game.
Ventura with the ball on the string. His three-pointer no good. Paniagua's got it running. Locust Valley going up the other way, and an offensive foul, too uncontrolled by Pelagonia.
Interesting to see a replay on this. Let's see if the defender was set. I guess
Looked like Ventura was, and I think Pelagonia never quite had control of himself, so he came in kind of bumbling into the lane.
Yep. I would agree.
Shot clock is off. We have 30 seconds remaining in a low-scoring third quarter. 13 total points scored so far in this quarter. Here's Carlo driving, 12 seconds left. Kick it back out for Ventura. Under 10 to play. Ventura pulling it out between the rings. Now he drives right side. Tough shot, no good. Put back is for Dylan Heege. And for the second consecutive quarter, Wantagh able to beat the buzzer. Another look at this one from Ventura. Almost works as an assist.
Yep.
And Heege puts it in. It's a 3-point lead for Wantagh, 40-37 as we head to the fourth quarter. You're watching Nassau County Boys Basketball on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We welcome you back to Wantagh High School. Matt Schultes, Ben Turchin with you as Wantagh leads Locust Valley by 3, 40-37. Lowest scoring quarter that we had between these two teams, that third quarter. Defense really seemed to ratchet it up early on. There's a lot of pass deflections, takeaways, block shots. So both defenses really seemed to come out with a different intensity in that third quarter.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that, and I expect this same intensity, Matt. We should see that here in the fourth. It's kind of been the same way the entire game. Two undefeated teams looking for that conference championship. This is a big game for both squads here today.
Again, 8-game regular season, no playoffs in Nassau County. And it's almost like you're playing a game every other day.
Yeah, at some point conditioning comes into factor, right? Because you didn't have all those practices. So where's the team's conditioning? That could be the difference in this game today.
This is Ventura, left side. Reach will try a three, and that's good.
That's a big three right there by Dylan Reach.
It's a 7-0 run for Wantagh as they extend the lead to 6, 43-37.
I think their officials missed a travel there by Mr. Tasso. Got away with it.
Missed shot, though, by Paniagua. We'll have a foul on the rebound going against Locust Valley.
Yeah, this is starting to get a little bit away from the Falcons right now here. As you see, the made basket by Wantagh on the other side, and a turnover or a foul, and then Wantagh gets the ball back, and they're up 6. So big defensive possession here, Matt, for Locust Valley.
Wantagh's largest lead of the game today was 12 at the start of the contest. They had a 14-2 advantage, and Locust Valley has led by 1 a couple of times in this second half. Wantagh will take a timeout. We'll do the same. It's a 6-point lead for the Warriors. You're watching Nassau County Boys Basketball on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Island sports fans, now is the time to ensure you don't miss out on your athletes' games. Varsity Media is available to live stream any game, any event, any level, anytime. Reach out to Varsity Media today to learn more about live streaming services. 516-403-2050 or visit us at www.varsitymedia.net.
Joe Horselrod calling a quick timeout from the Wantagh sideline, wanting to get things situated. He sees an opportunity for his team right now with a 6-point lead as we are early on in this fourth quarter. Left side three for Reach. Good look, but short. Rebound Locust Valley. Here's Tasso coming right side of the lane. Ventura tries to take it away. A missed shot. He altered it enough. Ventura, left side, no good. Altered by Paniagua. Quick pace here between these two teams. Tasso will try a three. Rattles home. First points of the game for Silvio Tasso, and a big basket for the Falcons.
Huge basket for the junior number 1 because Locust Valley started going cold. They needed a basket, and they got a big 3 to cut the lead back to 3.
Here's Ventura in traffic, right side. That'll be a 3. No good. And Ventura.
Yeah, he's going to get called for a push, I think, and that's the right call. A little aggressive underneath there, Matt, was Ventura trying to fight for that ball. And how about that, a 3-pointer? You get a stop the other way, Locust Valley can tie this game again.
Another look at that 3-pointer a moment ago for Tasso. Heege coming out a little late. I mean, they got the defense to kind of move around in an unsettled situation. Here's Incorvaya bringing the ball up. Murphy holding high above his head. Halpin back to Incorvaya. Again, got this Locust Valley run started in the second quarter. Missed on that one. Rebounded by Carlo of Wantagh. Ventura showed some good handle today. Ventura kick out. Reach now. Reach. Carlo on the left side. Here's Ventura, foot on the line. Tough shot is good. 12 points for Jaden Ventura, team high, and the lead is back to 5.
Treader with a nice pick there. Locust Valley couldn't get around it. Freed up Ventura for the 3.
Carlo knocked it away. Paniagua in some trouble. Finds Murphy. Murphy's shot is blocked by Treader and got the rebound. Ventura, one on true, trying to push ahead. But behind Murphy, goes to the basket, no good. He each got the rebound, the tie up down low. And we're going to have a foul on Locust Valley. Lee Antonio. No, they're going to get it against Murphy.
Yeah, let's see what this looks like underneath. There's the tie-up. How about Treader, though, Matt, for Wantagh? Big pick on the offense to free up Ventura. Then back the other way, playing defense there against Locust Valley. 2 big possessions by number 42 for Wantagh.
Yeah, he and Heege, I know we've kind of mentioned it a couple times. Dan McAndrew said those guys were going to be tough matchups for Locust Valley. And Heege, big play late in the last game against Island Trees, had the go-ahead basket. Big rebound right there in traffic. And Wantagh will have it. They called a timeout, 5:09 to go, and a 5-point lead for the Wantagh Warriors here at home.
Yeah, and I think for Locust Valley, Matt, it's just a situation where they have not had a lot of looks go in for them here late. So Coach McAndrew talking to his team, they need some plays that are going to work. They need some crisp passes. They got to get a guy with an open look, just like they were able to get Tasso with the open 3 on transition. They have to get something going here, down 5 with 5 to play.
And again, we talk about the lack of practice time. These things are hard to emulate, right? These situations, late game, close game situations. Down low, Treader, you just mentioned him. The shot won't go, gets his own rebound, one dribble, fight for it underneath, and a travel.
Yep. I mean, give him credit, folks. I mean, if you're a fan of David Treader, the senior, boy, he's giving you your money's worth, even though it's a free broadcast from home. He's keeping you entertained. He's playing great today. Unlucky with the travel call, but we'll see what he does defensively here on this set.
Good job by Paniagua to kind of force that one. Murphy shot short. Offensive board, no, and Treader is there. Treader being hounded from behind. Poke to Murphy, who puts it in.
Unbelievable play by Lee Antonio, the smallest guy on that series. He knew he couldn't keep the ball, so he poked it to Murphy. That's an assist in the books, folks, but a pretty one at that.
3-point Wantagh lead as we approach the midway point of the fourth quarter. Ventura driving on the baseline. Pulls it back. Heege steps back for a 3, but it wouldn't have counted. They get him for steps.
Yeah, you got to put the ball on the court first before you take 2 steps back behind the 3, and that was the call there. So, again, we talked about it off the timeout. Can Locust Valley get something going? They were able to with the rebound and the short putback Murphy. Now they get the turnover. Let's see what happens the other way.
Really a tale of 2 halves so far. First half was a lot of offensively driven. Defenses have really ratcheted things up in this second half.
Big rebound by Mike Handel, 23 for Wantagh.
Ventura stepping into an open 3. No. Murphy the rebound for Locust Valley. This is Paniagua. Right side for Incorvaya. Incorvaya tries to put it on the floor and turns it over.
Yeah, Handel with the defense again.
Ventura a little trouble with this one. He lost it, squirted out behind him. Marone picked it up. Driving to the basket. Lee Antonio's got his first points of the game.
Lee Antonio forced it on the defensive end, gets it back. Nice pass by Murphy, and it's a 1-point game.
45-44 Wantagh. Pace has slowed down a bit for both teams as well. Carlo on the baseline, comes out the other end, kicks it back up top. Reach. This is Heege. Reach will reset it. 14 on the shot clock. Heege posts up on the baseline, lost the ball out of bounds, but last touch by Locust Valley. So Wantagh will have it. 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, Locust Valley thought maybe that went off the Warriors. Officials disagreed. Now, one thing about Heege, we've got to look at his minutes. We talked about conditioning. Is he a little tired? Does he need a breather here? And that could be said for a bunch of these kids, and you had mentioned it, not a lot of practice time, only 8 games in 17 days. So it's a close game, maybe the first time either teams have played in a game this close. And I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I think conditioning could be a big factor here.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, we mentioned it a little bit. A lot of the guys on both rosters are used to playing sports throughout the year. Hasn't happened. I mean, the last interscholastic sport we would have been basketball. So they missed their spring season, they missed their fall season. Maybe some guys like lacrosse, maybe there was some summer lacrosse going on, but not a ton. So you can stay conditioned.
Yep.
And you could work out on your own or even doing like some small group stuff. But it's not going to be quite the same. It's not going to be at the level that you would normally have it if you were practicing day in, day out and competing day in and day out.
Without a doubt. And one other thing, as we see Handel's shot.
Right baseline jumper, no good. Long rebound. Here's Leantonio, coast to coast. Count the basket and one.
What a huge play by Logan Leantonio going the other way. And again, he's one of the shortest kids on the court and able to get that layup in. Let's take another look at this. That was poked away. He comes down the court, beats the defenders. It's an excellent play. One of the things I wanted to mention, Matt, is in the Clark game, Coach McAndrew played 20 guys. That is not the case today. You know, you've got a much tighter rotation going on in this game, so you could have some more tired legs. But not Logan Leantonio. He's playing great here down the stretch.
He hits the second one, and it's a 7-0 run for Locust Valley right now. They have their largest lead of the game. It's a 2-point advantage.
And just a few minutes ago, they were down 5 with 5 minutes to go. So things have turned around for the Falcons.
Here's Dowden underneath, no good. And a battle for it as it goes out of bounds off of Dowden. So things starting to turn a little bit here for the Falcons.
And now we go see what Wantagh can do to erase this deficit. It's going to start on the defensive end here. They've been great defensively. They've been caught, Matt, in transition. That's where Locust Valley has had a lot of success. But when you've played the defense on one side, Wantagh's been pretty good.
Underneath, block shot from behind by Treader. Kick it back out, move it around the horn. Three-pointer, no good. Murphy skying in for the board, knocked out of bounds by Treader.
He can't believe it, Matt. He thought for sure that was off Murphy. Officials go Locust Valley ball. And this half-court set defense, Wantagh's been very good. They're going to need it here again. Yeah, he did slip on the court there, but that's a tough call. That's a tough one for Locust Valley.
So foul on the screen.
I think this court might be slicked up a little bit. Might be a
snow on the ground, ice on the ground.
Yeah, maybe.
2-point game, a little over 2 minutes to go as Locust Valley on the road right now, up by 2. Ventura, he's been quiet of late. Puts the ball on the floor into traffic, kicks it back out, reach, wide open 3, no good. Ball popped up, pulled back down. And a foul as Dowden went to the basket. He will go to the line for 2.
Dominic Marone on Locust Valley could not believe it. Just one thing on Ventura. He brings 4 defenders, Matt, with him to the paint. And anytime you're going to get 4 defenders coming at you, you've got to find an open man. He did that. They weren't able to knock down the shot, but they're at the free throw line shooting too.
Kyle Dowden, 8 points today. He had 11 the other day against Island Trees. Went to Holy Trinity for a couple of years in Hicksville and came back into his hometown district this year.
Coaches love that, Matt.
Yeah,
you know, when you get a kid back, oh, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, for Joe Harselrod, he said that was the one spot where they weren't really sure what they were going to do coming into the season, if they were going to have a season. And then once they knew that Dowden was around, that kind of settled things down for them. Yeah,
you love to have a 6'3" senior guard. Not that many 6'3" senior guards around. And he's got one here for Wantagh.
So that ties things up at 47. Closing minutes of this contest. 90 seconds left. Here's Murphy in the right side corner. Incorvaya, double teamed, slips it down to Murphy, lays it up and in.
Just an unbelievable play by Incorvaya. What a great pass down low. Murphy able to get the lead on the ball. Easy basket. That's what you want to do. You want to give your big man the opportunity to catch and put it up quickly. Take another look at this, folks. That's a perfect pass.
A nice job by Incorvaya waiting just long enough for Heege to slack off of Murphy. Comes over on a double team, and Incorvaya able to pass out of it.
Yeah, we've got a tight one here. We appreciate you sticking with us on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We've got a good one here, Matt. One of these teams is going 5-0 and on their way. I know North Shore is waiting for them as well. They're also undefeated in this conference. So you can't say that after this game you're totally out of the woods. You still got one more big game to go, but it's nice to be 5-0.
For sure. You know, you get an opportunity like this, 2 4-0 teams. You know, you obviously want to come out of here and stay unbeaten.
Yep. I think the loser of this game will hope that North Shore takes care of the winner of this game, and then at the end, when it's all said and done, you've got a 3-way tie, and we'll have to go to the tiebreaker and see what happens. So it'll get very competitive here late. This is next week will be the final week of the season.
Yep.
I think Saturday the 27th, if I'm not mistaken, there might be some games, so we'll get the full week, and that's it. And Nassau County elected not to have playoffs. I know Suffolk is going to have, I think, 2 games, a semifinal and a final. So two days or 2 rounds of playoffs. Not the case here in Nassau. Every game means something. It's almost like like college football used to be.
Yeah. .120 left, 2-point game. Wantagh led most of this contest. Locust Valley is their largest lead of the game today, 49-47. Ventura, crossover. Now turn around, pull over, jumper no good. Rebound by Handel. Pass knocked away. Leantonio driving to the basket. Reverse scoop won't go. Offensive board for Locust Valley. Put back in by Marone.
Marone, the right player at the right place at the right time. After the loose ball, he was there to scoop it up and put it up for Locust Valley.
Ventura trying to push ahead the other way, and he traveled.
Yes, he did. A little aggressive there on the part of Ventura. But how about this Locust Valley defense, Matt? They have really stepped it up here late. And you look at the layup missed here, and then the cleanup there for the Falcons. Press on for Wantagh.
There's a 5-second difference between the game and the shot clock, and Wantagh is down by 4. No need to foul just yet for Wantagh. Underneath, but they do foul. Marone, back-to-back baskets here late, and Locust Valley finishing this game in style, a 6-0 run to take a 6-point lead.
Unbelievable passing. We talked about that because in the third quarter, Locust Valley had struggled getting the entry pass in, finding the big man, tipped away by Wantagh, great defense. Of late, off transition offense, they have been excellent, Locust Valley has.
Marone, 10 points, 5 of which in the last 45 seconds here. So Wantagh's got to move down by 7 here. 3-pointer left side, that rattles in.
Get a timeout by Wantagh, down by 4. Big 3 by the Warriors, keep themselves in this game.
So Kyle Dowden on the 3.
Sometimes the rim lucks out for you, right? Off the glass and in. Wantagh will take it.
You know, I know you've mentioned it a few times today, the conditioning and depth, and the fact of Locust Valley playing 20 players the other day. They could only travel 15 today with COVID protocols, but it's hard to dispute the way this game is closing out right now. If we look at the numbers, right, it was a 40-37 lead for Wantagh heading into the fourth quarter, but 17-10 fourth quarter right now for Locust Valley, so closing this out strong.
A couple of thoughts on that. I think Wantagh has had some looks. They haven't fallen. Okay, we've seen a couple of 3-point attempts. Also, Ventura's done a nice job with penetration, but he hasn't been able to finish. And I think Locust Valley's strengths today, Matt, has been their transition back the other way. They have been so good. Their passing has been so good on transition. Lee Antonio has started that as we get a quick foul by Wantagh. Because defensively on the half-court set for Wantagh, they've been good at that today. they really stopped Locust Valley in that regard. But off the misses, when Locust Valley's going back the other way, that's where Wantagh has struggled to stop them.
So Wantagh commits a foul. It's only their 5th team foul, so that kind of working against them right now. They have fouled one more time, so the next one is going to be 1-1, but working some time off the clock as they try to collect these fouls.
And stick with us, folks. We're going to try to get you a player to interview after the game. We don't know what team it's going to be yet. This game is not settled yet. But stick with us. We will try to get a player to talk to, a winning player from this game. And there's a lot we could choose from, man.
Yeah, Incorvaya going to the line right now to shoot 1-1. He's got 10 today. Dominic Marone, strong finish to this game. He's got 10. Murphy with 14. Paniagua with 9.
And you got to like the way Lee Antonio, the floor general for this team, has really gotten on the defensive end with all his steals and putbacks, and everybody's been playing good here for both teams.
1-1 situation for Incorvaya. Hits the first.
Got to be impressed on the Wantagh side. David Treader came out, played great today. Dylan Heege picked up where he left off. Had a great game. Very, very impressed with Jaden Ventura, the point guard, the senior point guard captain for Wantagh. It's easy to see why both of these teams were undefeated coming into today's game.
So 2 big free throws for Incorvaya extends the lead to 6 with 12 seconds left. So Locust Valley showing a little bit of pressure, but just enough. Here's Ventura. He'll pull up. 3-pointer, no good. Long rebound to Murphy. Murphy holding up top. Wantagh will not foul. 2 teams came in undefeated. 1 team leaves, and it's Locust Valley moving to 5-0 on the season with a 56-50 victory on the road today.
Great job by both teams, and Locust Valley, tremendous effort. They were down 14-2 in the first quarter, folks, and they come back and win by 6. What more can you say? Great job, and give a good effort to Wantagh as well. Tremendous team, great senior leadership, and they were able to hang with Locust Valley throughout most of this game.
And again, a big fourth quarter for Locust Valley as they scored 19 points in that final frame to take a 56-50 victory today. We'll be back in just a moment. Plenty more to come as Locust Valley moves to 5-0 on this season. Stay with us on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Cuts inside. Touchdown, Red Devils. Rosin coach Greg Murphy. There's you.
What a move!
And the foul.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Patience offensively against this excellent defense. Now the shot's fired. How about that? Right into the top of the cage off the stick.
Be second down and 3. Handoff this time right up the middle. And B.J. Clark is gone for the touchdown.
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone at 866-577-1950.
Welcome back to Wantagh High School as Locust Valley moves to 5-0 on the season, a 56-50 victory over Wantagh. Now we're joined by senior guard Logan Lee Antonio. And Logan, 5 points today, but I think you made a huge impact on this game on the defensive end of the floor. Came out a little flat to start this game.
Yeah, definitely.
And it seemed like second half defensive intensity really ratcheted up. What was the focus both individually and team-wise defensively as you went on in this game?
Well, coming into the game, we knew they weren't really we didn't know they were shooters, so we were playing more cover their bigs. And in the first quarter, they're hitting their threes, so had to pressure out more, opened up their inside game for their big guards. But going down 14, we were we don't want to lose, so just played our best, try to get the win. That's about it.
And for you, I mean, it seemed like you became very active defensively on the perimeter. You were poking balls away. What's your mindset as you start to see some of that labor paying off into the offensive end of the floor?
Well, later into the game, they were more relying on Ford to get the ball up top. So just pressuring him, get the ball out of his hands, it would, slow the game down a little bit, which it did, and get three to stop shooting those. So.
And then,
three stop.
For you guys, because you have such a deep team this year, I mean, it's pretty unusual. Everything about this season's unusual, but to have 20 guys on a roster, 15 guys traveling today, how much do you think that depth played a role in your ability to come back in such this shortened season, not a lot of practice time, all sorts of things like that? It's
huge because we have a bunch of 3-sport athletes, 2-sports athletes that play all year round, and if it comes down to the end where everyone's tired, we always have another guy up for for defense. Our whole team, we're defense first. That's how we win our games. So.
All right, Logan, appreciate it. Congratulations on the win today. Congratulations to moving 5-0 on the season.
Thank you.
Again, Logan Leantonio, 5 points today in the winning effort for Locust Valley as they come from behind to defeat Wantagh on the road by a final score of 56-50. So that'll do it for everybody involved in our broadcast. For Ben Turchin, I'm Matt Shorter saying so long, and we'll catch you next time on Varsity Media Sports Network. Locust Valley moves to 5-0 today with a 56-50 victory on the road at Wantagh.